Hold up.
Alright everybody, here we go with another part of the detail with executing the offense, tips and sides threads, and this time we're going to talk about shot timing. A lot of people really don't go to practice mode and practice each player's shots, but I recommend that you do, simply so you'll be able to get the best percentage out of a guy trying to make a shot if you know his timing. If you just, press the X button and let it go at any time, he might make it in a game and he might not. But if you get a perfect release on it the majority of times, or on every time, you increase your chances of making it. But it's different for every player. Like Ray Allen, his release is pretty much at the top of his jump. And that's where you want to release everybody's shot at. But some people get to the top of their jump faster than others. Okay? Some people don't get to the top of their jump until later. Some people get it early. Shawn Marion's one of those guys who get to the top of his jump very early. Tayshaun Prince kind of gets to it late. But just come to practice mode and fool around with the players that you're going to be playing with. And have them run around and get used to shooting with them. If it says slightly early, then release it a little bit later. And it just increases. You don't have to get a perfect release every time, but as long as it's somewhere around the top of their jump, then you're okay. And once you get how they release it and what's the best time at the top of their jump release, you can kind of forget about that great release, perfect release thing. Once you figure out, like I have here, of when to release it with a certain player and what's the best release point of that player, then you'll pretty much start hitting a lot of shots. I know he's gone cold here. But let's just take another player. Let's take Paul Pierce. As we see, here is Ray Allen's jumper. Pretty quick. Paul Pierce's jumper is a little bit slower than that. Okay? So it's a different release for every player, or for the majority of players, because some players have some players have the same jumper as others. I think Andre Iguodala is one of those players who has the Paul Pierce shot, but as you can see, I'm pretty much locked in on his shot right here. One more player and we'll get out of this. This is a pretty simple thing to do. All you have to do is really go to it as practice. Let's get KG in here. See his shot. Let's go back to Ray Allen. Okay, which is a pretty quick shot. Paul Pierce takes a little bit longer, but not too much. See about KG. KG and Paul Pierce are closely related in release points, or the timing of the release point. And just because you release it at a perfect jumper doesn't mean you're going to hit every shot. It just increases the chance that he's going to hit it from where he's at. And don't try to get out of a guy's range. Shooting trays in practice with KG might not be the best thing. Keep it around his area and around his range, especially where you're going to be shooting him in a game. All right. Self-explanatory, guys. Get to practice mode and get to learning these jumpers and where your players with the team that you're going to be playing with the most, where those players are most effective, or where the release point is most effective for a player's shot. So when you get into the game, you can have the highest percentage or the highest chance of making it possible with the releasing of the ball at the highest point. All right. Hot zone is where a player is most comfortable from shooting, and it also increases the chances of him making the shot with or without him being hot or cold. What you do is you take your player and you just walk around the court, starting around the arc. And if you get into a hot zone, you'll feel your controller start to pulsate and start to vibrate, especially if you're on the 360. Right now with Deron Williams, anytime I go around this area, my controller starts to slightly vibrate. Okay? Now, I'm going to check any more spots. Just walk around. Okay, right around this same area, on the opposite side of the court, it's vibrating again. I'm going to check anywhere inside the paint. Nothing inside the paint. Okay, I'm going to go back here. It's pulsating right there, and check around the 3-point line. Okay, nothing around the 3-point line. But when I get here, it's pulsating, it's vibrating. So what that means is that if I shoot from an area where he's comfortable from, that just gives me a greater chance of making the jumper. Now, does it mean that I'm going to hit every jumper that I shoot from these spots? No, because I missed the first jumper that I shot. It just means that, under certain circumstances, if I shoot it at the top of his jumper, or if I'm wide open, if a hand's in my face or not, under circumstances, it just increases the chance of me hitting the shot. That's all that it does. And some players have hot zones, some players don't have hot zones. What you do is you just take each player and you figure out where his hot zone is. Gordon Gierczak. Right around here, right around here. Just checking the paint now. I'll check the 3-point line, since he's a 3-point specialist. Felt something. Yep, right around here, right around here. So it looks like he's got 2 spots on the court. Looks like he's got this area here around the wing or the angle jumper, mid-range, and this spot over here behind the arc. Those 2 spots look like that. Those are his hot zone spots where he likes to shoot from. Okay, now just go ahead and use this information right here and check on each player. And like I say, he's not going to hit every single one of them, but it does increase the chances. And just check the players that you like to use and you like to shoot with on the teams that you like to use, and try to get if you can blast from these spots, then go ahead and blast from these spots, because it's going to increase your chances of making it that much more. All right.